Welcome back, everybody. So, hope y'all are having a wonderful weekend. I was doing a bit more treasure hunting. It looks like I found another Bitter Springs map. I had found another one, but it was, I guess, a duplicate. I have a feeling this one probably is too, because it doesn't look like you can get more than one of the same. But I'll check just in case. Let's see. Nah, I think it's the same one. Okay. Haven't found any new maps. Two Bitter Springs duplicates. Let's see if we can find one more. Then we'll go deal with that whole terrorist thing that's going on in Freeside. I'll deal with the terrorists later. Oh. Where is it? Aha. Alright. Let's head back over to Freeside. What was the quest at? The Gray. Okay, it's North Vegas. Never mind. Oh yeah, I also finally figured out how to turn on HDR. So what it is you gotta use the vanilla launcher for New Vegas, and it'll pop up this little text box, and it says like, you know, play game, data files, and options. Click on options. There's a little radio button you can use to turn on HDR. You got treasure nearby. Bottle caps. Yeah, I found that out by accident on my new computer. I'm actually troubleshooting that computer at the moment. Seem to be having an issue with the GPU. The drivers, I guess, are like timing out or something, just automatically disabling themselves after like a few hours of use. And I just get like all three screens turn black. I have to restart it, go into Device Manager and re-enable the drivers. So, trying to figure out what's going on there. Really hoping it's just a software issue, not a hardware one.
Can't help thinking that we've not seen the last of the fiends yet.
Well, there's always more fiends.
No one gets in to see the boss without my say-so.
Friend of Jackie's? I'm here to see Hosea.
So you're the one the boss told me about. Yeah, you definitely look the part. Go right on through. He's waiting for you.
Ah, so you came after all. Nice to meet you. Come, take a seat up here at the table when you're ready.
Okay.
I need my fix.
When I'm ready.
Ah, so we finally meet. Jackie told me about you. I bet you were expecting someone a lot more intimidating when you first heard the stories. Sorry for not living up to your imagination. The title of Raider Boss doesn't really conjure up images of a 70-year-old man, does it? No matter. It's good to finally put a face to the name I've been hearing so much about. I have no idea why, but I have a good feeling about you.
Oh?
Probably just nostalgia. Used to be a young nomad myself. always on the lookout for raiders. God, that was probably before you were even born. Anyway, enough about me. What made you decide to come here after all?
A holotape you left me? I mean, I was coming to see you about the whole attacking Freeside, but then you actually killed the lady, and I just wanted to see what this is all about.
Well, let's see if we can do something about that boredom. The Hawthorne girl hired you before, and I'd like to hire you now. Don't worry, you'll be paid accordingly. But I'm also offering you a dream of something more. A Vegas free of NCR rule. We're in desperate need of a new system. We're heading down the same path that the old world did, and we can't just stand by and watch it happen. You look like you might want to know more.
What do you have against the NCR?
The Brahmin barons of the NCR are rot that's been allowed to fester. Corruption runs rampant in the halls of Congress because of those bastards. It wasn't always like this. The Republic used to be a far better place. It finally offered a real semblance of safety in the wasteland. Laws were once written to serve the people. Not so much anymore, I'm afraid. Let me give you an example. When President Tandy was in office, there was a limit on the amount of cattle and land a single person could own. The bigger landowners couldn't just be content with their success. They needed to have more to satisfy their greed. In order for that to happen, things would need to change. The barons turned to large-scale lobbying to achieve their goals. As the years passed after Tandy's death, regulation was slowly peeled back until Kimball decided to repeal the land limit entirely. This allowed the cattle market to monopolize and prove that the rich and powerful hold too much sway over the fate of the Republic.
I don't really know much about the NCR political situation.
Well, you're lucky. It's an endless war of backstabbing politicians, ready to sell their soul to the highest bidder. The average worker breaks their back in a thankless job where they make barely enough to eat. Leeches like Gunderson exploit their labor for vast amounts of wealth, while the majority struggle to make it by.
Well, didn't the people of the NCR vote these policies that made the barons rich?
They did. But when people aren't even offered a choice to the contrary, did they really? Look at the biggest contributors in the past 3 elections since Tandy's death, and tell me the system still works. The same names keep popping up. Gunderson, Hawthorne, Weston. Although, yes, you're correct. The people voted them in.
So, what is it you're hiring me to do? Are we assassinating a candidate or something?
Politicians live and die by their funding. Just like everything else in this world, money is king. These people have massive influence on the policies each political party run on, to the point where the working man does not have a representative. And so it was a lie sold to the people. A truly free market that would allow anyone with the determination to be a success in the Republic. And what a lie it was. The farmhands who voted Kimball in are working longer hours and getting paid less than what they were all those years ago. Small caravans, businesses, and ranch owners have been pushed out of the market completely as the bigger outfits monopolize. Is that a system you think is worth saving?
Well, I don't like the NCR, but I have nuked them in the past. Um,
I wish you were right. I've tried all my life to believe in that. I really have. But I've found the message of peace to be completely impotent. Years of working with the followers to try and spread that message. Unfortunately, it's time I'll never get back. The Republic won't change without any real threat to them from its people. If you've ever had the privilege to read some old world books, then history is a place you might have learned this. When the French sent their ruling class to the guillotines, the aristocracy of the other countries around Europe had to curtail their greed. I'm not saying Hawthorne and Gutterson have to die. However, the people have to make their voices heard. The NCR may be beyond saving at this point. However, Vegas offers a fresh start. We can build something better. Perhaps inspire the workers of the NCR to break their chains in the process. Join me, and we can build a future for the people of Vegas.
Well, you said Hawthorne doesn't have to die, but you already killed... Or are you just talking about the dad?
Very well. I'll do what I can to answer. And remember, my door is always open. Ask me anything at any time that suits you.
Why'd you call the gang the Vultures?
It sounds like a pejorative name, doesn't it? Well, originally it was. Some rag in the Republic called us that after one of our raids. Smooth operation, that was. Took the food intended for McCarran and fed many a person in outer Vegas for a solid week. Ever since reading that, me and everyone else in the gang have wore that name as a badge of honor.
And what are you trying to accomplish?
I assume the doubt in your voice refers to the sheer size of the NCR. Well, that certainly makes us have to scale back our ambitions. We can't beat the Republic in a conventional war. Yet, anyway. My plan is to severely damage their supply line. It's looking likely, despite their incompetence, that they will defeat the Legion when they come knocking at the dam again. With enough recruits and the correct people on my side, we might be able to delay them annexing the area by hitting their supply lines hard. When the troops at the dam start going hungry, the Republic will show its true colors. Then the people of Vegas will defend their home. Revolution in its purest form.
Okay. So you're willing to start a war?
Sadly, war might be what is needed. If an opportunity arises to avoid it, I will gladly take it. It's either that or live to work for the rich few. A badly beaten NCR will not have the stomach for a long, drawn-out war after their narrow victory over Caesar's Legion. In the end, Vegas will choose what is right. Now, is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Now, without the NCR here, do you really think Vegas will defend itself from the Legion? Oh, I actually have an answer for that.
Well, that's a good question, and a very important one to answer for a truly free New Vegas to prosper. The Legion taking control of the area might be the only thing worse than a decisive NCR victory. That's why it's important to hit the NCR at the correct time. We can't weaken them to the point where they lose the Battle of Hoover Dam. The Vultures are tough, but I truly do not believe they're ready for the level of brutality that Caesar and his legate bring. Ironically, as much as it pains me, we need the NCR to hold off the Legion. They're the only ones who have the resources to do so. For all our sakes, I'm praying for a Pyrrhic NCR victory. It's our best shot of a truly independent New Vegas.
And Mr. House?
I don't know much about House, but who does, really? The only thing I can judge him by are his actions. I see a city built on heaps and heaps of both old American dollars and bottle caps. A place of tremendous wealth, surrounded on all sides by poverty. While House and the 3 families get richer, children all over starve. My question would be, where is this wealth going? Is whatever House is building worth all the misery he's conveniently ignoring in New Vegas? That tower alone could house several thousand people. Instead, he uses it to stockpile caps for God knows what.
What happened to the other merc before me?
Oh, you mean Frank. He's safe and sound. You might be meeting him sooner than expected. Any other questions?
Still not clear on why you killed Ella Hawthorne. Can you explain?
I had her killed because she and her family are a group of parasites, taking control of the market from hard-working Vegas farmers. They pitch their store as a free-side co-op, when all they do is function as a middleman, taking caps for nothing. First, we tried to intimidate her to leave. Ideally, this would have been resolved without bloodshed. However, she didn't learn her lesson. She hired mercs like you to find and harm us, and for that she had to die. I hope you can see I was just protecting my people. Now, any other questions?
So why'd you leave the followers?
Now, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of respect for the followers. They truly do care about people, which is sadly not too common in the wasteland. I learned a lot over the years. They taught me how to read and write, which goes a long way in the world. The amount of knowledge that can be gathered from pre-war books is truly staggering. If you've ever had the privilege to visit a pre-war library, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Without them, I wouldn't be anywhere near as good a physician as I am today. I also met a lot of great people, like Jackie, over the years. Sadly, a few years back, I just felt it was time to leave. It just wasn't for me anymore. I looked around at all the good we'd done, but I also realized that things were just going to get worse, because the NCR didn't want to change. I kept thinking, if you're not willing to fight for it, what's the point of believing in the potential for a better world?
I read some books about the power of peaceful protest in the pre-war world. Seemed like a good tactic.
Yes, I know some of the groups you're talking about. The uranium miners' strike of 2036 comes to mind. Those brave people managed to get the better working conditions that they desperately needed, all without bloodshed. However, comparing the strategies of pre-war resistance to those living in the wasteland today is like comparing apples and oranges. The NCR is more civilized than the rest of the wasteland, but will people really notice when someone inconvenient disappears? It happens more than you know. There's a lot of open country in the Republic, where anything can happen. Very well. Now, back to what I was saying. Are you interested in joining us, or have you not made your mind up?
Oh, damn. I want to do a save, but, let's see how far this goes.
Good. You're just the type of person I need. Although the NCR has been trying to get a mole in here for a few weeks now. So I'm afraid I'm gonna have to send you off on a little task to prove yourself. I want you to go meet a fellow new recruit. You and him have more in common than you know. Go meet him at the El Rey Motel. He'll be waiting. Use the passphrase, "Hit the beast while it slumbers." If it's him, he should understand and fill you in on the details. Now, It's been good chatting, but these old bones need some rest. So I'll catch up with you once your task is complete. Good hunting.
Their lands. I'm sure they're going to miss them.
Create a new save just in case.
Those fiend junkies over at
Probably
Vault
gonna
3 have
have
been
us
taking
kill
some
that
hits.
ranger.
Howdy.
I say kill them all.
The NCR's top ranger, Chief Hanlon, put a gun in his mouth. Think he would have done that if he used
Jules, how you doing?
What's eating you?
Nothing. Alright, where are we going? El Rey. Oh, Conroy, how's it going?
Sorry, stranger. I'm not feeling too great at the moment. Talk to Clive if you want small talk.
Oh, Frank.
Hi, do I know you?
Hit the beast while it slumbers. I'm the beast and I'm gonna slumber. What happens if I say that?
Hi, is that the right? Sorry, I don't think I know you. Did you mean to say something else?
Here to help the vultures?
What? I'm sorry, sir. I don't know what you're talking about. Who are the vultures? Sorry, I think someone else will need to help you.
Dawn is breaking. Greet the new day.
Sorry, are you on a jet trip? Maybe you need to sit down. So you're the one I'm supposed to be waiting for? You're not what I expected. I was expecting a badass merc with an entire arsenal on their back.
You have no
I heard you knew
idea
Ella
my
quite well.
inventory.
Me too. I really wish things could have gone different for her. She seemed like a really sweet girl. She was always really nice to me. I didn't really see the bad in her that everyone was talking about. Hosea seemed to have his reasons, though. He's a man with a vision. NCR are bleeding us dry, and I'm ready to fight just like you are. Has Hosea filled you in with what we'll be doing?
No, he hasn't.
He must be testing my memory. Well, he won't be disappointed, thankfully, as your man here has a good memory.
Okay.
The NCR transport crops using caravans from the local farms from here to the Mojave outpost and then further onto NCR territory. That corn could feed all of Vegas. So what he needs us to do is obtain the caravan schedule.
So what are we gonna, wait, how are we getting the caravan schedule? What are we gonna use it for?
I couldn't tell you exactly, but I reckon Hosea will have us take the cargo when the caravans are vulnerable. I think he'll use what we get to feed the hungry around Vegas. I could be wrong. I'm not really aware of what the strategy is exactly. You got any more questions?
Seems like I'm the one doing all the work. Why can't I deliver to the schedule?
Because I've already done my part for the cause, and I'm only here because Hosea says I need to learn the value of teamwork. I'd rather not tell you anymore if you're all right with that.
Well, that doesn't sound like teamwork.
Okay then, glad I could help. Meet me back here once you've got the schedule, unless there's anything else I can help you with?
Yeah, where do I go to get the schedule? How did you go from killing a vulture to joining them a day or two later?
I'm as shocked as you are, honestly. When they captured me, I thought I was a goner for sure. It's not very often you kill a gang member in Vegas in front of their friends and live to tell the tale. I thought they were gonna kick me in the furnace the entire time I was tied up in that godforsaken mill. After a few hours, though, Hosea told them to loosen my restraints and come sit downstairs with him. I didn't have much choice in the matter, so I went and listened to what he had to say. I don't quite know how to put it, stranger. But everything Hosea said just sort of made sense. There's no real reason why the people of Freeside should be treated like dirt.
We're no different from those big wigs on the strip. We're all flesh and blood at the end of the day.
He said NCR are only here for the water in some big old lake. That sounds like them. I know what they're like. One time, some NCR grunts stole me and Billy's claim near Nelson. We got there fair and square, but he pointed his gun at us and threatened us. Anyway, back to the mill. That's when Hosea offered me a choice. One to really change things around here. To hell with being a killer just for caps. I don't have it in me. If I need to kill, it has to be for something. I told Hosea that, and from there, he let me join. It's rough going, but I think this might be the life for me, you know?
So what happened in the hotel room?
You did? That must be why Hosea was so quick finding you. He must have realized you were hot on his heels. I'll never forget that night. I knew someone had been watching me all day ever since leaving Ella's place. It was later, when I went out scavenging near those houses near the old steel mill, when I noticed the same people who were watching me in Freeside. That's when I knew they were definitely following me, so later that night, I slept with my pistol close by the pillow. When they came, that's when I had to pull the trigger for the first time. I had to watch that lady die. It's not a nice thing to see that. I still see the look in her eyes when I sleep. It haunts me. I don't know how the raiders do it. For money? Survival? That's the last thing I remember seeing before I got knocked out and dragged to the steel mill. Hope that answers your question.
Alright.
See you later, mister.
Mm-hmm. So where do they actually want us to go? Oh, okay. Alright. That's not too far. Private Volk?
Huh. How about that? Not often they let outsiders in here. Oh well. They don't pay me enough to care. Just try to keep out of trouble.
Command sent me to retrieve the latest rota for the caravans. It's getting revised in a few weeks.
Well, I'll be damned. That is good news. Here's to hoping they change the shift rotations too. This post has been a real drag lately. Hollow disk is just to the right of me. Go ahead and take it.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hey. Wow, the clouds look... It was sunny when we went in there. It's gotten all gray and depressing. Hey Frank, I did it. It was really fucking easy.
Welcome back. Do you have the schedule? I hope Hosea doesn't think we're taking too long.
Right here.
You have? That's great! We're supposed to meet Hosea back at Fire Water Cave once we're finished here. I'll mark it on your map. I've got to attend to this delivery first, sadly. Maybe I'll see you again later at camp. Good luck.
Okay. Alright, well, we will cut here and next episode head up to Firewater Cave. I'll do some scavenging in the meantime. So, hope y'all enjoyed. We'll see you later.